thanks so much for joining us today on the Small Business Edge, where we talk to industry experts and individuals about different tips and strategies that they can employ to their small business.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we
it's great.
love. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Just gonna say it's great to be here with you.
Yeah, we're really excited to have Marv because he is an SEO expert and guru. So we knew that we needed his expertise on today. So thanks so much, Marv.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, I really like to think of myself more as a SEO savant more than an expert, but that's
Well, you know way more than we do. So yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't you just kind of give us a little background of your experience with SEO?
SEO, and I'd like to maybe just a little bit more background on my experience with starting companies like you're helping people do, and but not too much detail. So when I was 5, I started my first company with my parents, and that's a true story. And that my dad came home with a stack of flyers, and he said, "I'll pay you guys," meaning his kids, cheap cheap child labor, a penny a penny per flyer. You're going to go around the neighborhood and you're going to pass these out. And that's how we started his first business, where he worked for himself. And so he had many of those clients until they died, and he retired. So
Wow.
for decades. And then over the years, our family has just started lots of businesses and companies. My mom had a catering business. My brothers and I um, worked together at a startup company. And so it's kind of been an entrepreneurial spirit in our family. But one of those companies that we worked at, a software company, is where I started in search optimization, in that we were creating content and optimizing it before SEO was even an acronym.
Wow.
And so along the way, I've and my brothers have worked in uh, pool cleaning, lawn care. I had a water purifier installation business. We started one software company in 1988,
Wow.
another one in 1999. And so between service and tech, I've kind of worked the whole gamut.
Wow.
Wow, that's
That's
amazing.
amazing. So yeah, truly a family of entrepreneurs. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
it's been a fun ride, but more recently, my focus has really been on SEO, and I know that's what we want to talk about today.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I guess a question to kind of kick things off for you, Marv, is could you explain to the average business owner in simple terms what SEO is and how they could implement it into their business?
Yeah, just really think of it as SEO is making sure you're saying and posting the most relevant things.
Mm,
So when people generally think about SEO, they think about, oh, you have to do content optimization to rank in Google. But it's a lot more than that. I try to tell people it's more about business intelligence, but maybe that's too technical too. So
yeah.
really just think about you're wanting to say the things that are most relevant to the largest audience.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people hear SEO and they just get scared and overwhelmed and they don't even like know where to begin, right?
Right, right. And so if you break it down, just think of it like what is most relevant to your audience that you can put into your not just website, but your marketing collateral. And it can be print, it doesn't have to be digital. Um, Things that will resonate. And so you'll need to look up and do some keyword research, but there's tools online and tutorials online to help you through that. But basically, you are just kind of honing in on those search terms and queries that are most popular, but also you have to make sure that they resonate with your audience.
Mm, mm. I couldn't agree more with you, Marv. Just my little experience with SEO and digital marketing. It's really important And I think when starting our company, Maximize, we wanted to make sure that we were actually helping these small businesses rank on Google. And
Right.
it's so much research, and Google, and this, Google's always changing their algorithm. They just changed it a few months ago, and so it's really important that these small businesses understand and know what that is, so that they can not only talk to their marketing experts, but they'll be sure of that for themselves as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Small businesses have I would say, a specific set of challenges in that they're trying to gain visibility when other companies might have a leg up in
Yeah.
that they have bigger teams and are able to do more. But I think some of the biggest benefits for small businesses that can translate into increased sales and leads are just number one, making sure that your Google presence, specifically your Google business listing, is just highly optimized. You want to fill out every bit of that. And again, that's where some of these keywords come into play. Um, Now, as a small business, you might only rank for your brand term, but that would be your first goal, is just making sure that you're doing the right things so you show up for your brand term. But again, if you have done some research and you know what types of services people are looking for example, I've been helping my sister with her salon business. We just rebranded it to Styled Salon. It's in Draper, Utah, and we had to redo everything, the domain name, the all the social listings and everything. And as we're going through that, I just realized how many things we're touching across all the social properties within the website, all the print. We had to change the sign out front. We had to change the business LLC. So as you're going through that process, it's a good time to kind of look at all the different places where you can put those keywords. They're in your business profile. They're in your social media posts, your hashtags, the titles in your emails and newsletters, and in your LinkedIn articles. So when you're going through and kind of doing an audit for your business, make sure you're touching all those areas and making sure that you're putting, again, those terms and keywords and the things that are relevant to your audience in all those places.
I love that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it almost seems like SEO is kind of the last thing people think of. They get their brick and mortar set up, they hire their team, they have their skills, but then they're like, oh, wait, we need customers to find us. We need people to
Yeah.
be able to search for us on Google. So I love that advice, kind of doing an audit and making sure that it's consistent across all platforms, like you said, like your social media presence, your website, your Google business profile. And we're always emphasizing that to our clients. And we do
Right.
get results when they're able to do that. It's amazing.
Yeah, and the important thing is if you get your Google local business profile right, I mean, you really nail it down and you're like, okay, this is pretty much all we can do here. You can take that profile and you can import it into Bing. You don't have to do all that work again. And then you've got a second profile out there for a different search engine. And then as you, again, feel comfortable with that, you're going to take that profile and you're going to put it in other places. I would recommend, like, for example, businesses start using the Nextdoor app. You create a profile in there. You do have to have your LLC license, in place to upload it to verify that you're a business, but you can start marketing locally as well with that. I think that's a great move.
Yeah. I really love that, the brand consistency, and be able to not only use Google but use apps like Nextdoor to demonstrate what you can do, and show some of the local people, and people that you're trying to go after, the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really about increasing and expanding your presence as much as you can online.
Right. That's kind of where I wanted to go next. Talking a little bit about local ranking, because I feel like most business owners have this big ideal, and when they go out, they realize like, oh, I haven't established myself yet, so I need to, kind of retrack a little bit and start from scratch. What are some suggestions that you would give? I know we touched on them a little bit here for someone that's trying to rank local. Do you think like reviews help and things like that?
Yeah, I've done a lot of research into this, and that you mentioned that the Google algorithm gets updated. Well, it gets updated about every day.
Mm.
Um, but within the business listings, I did notice that businesses that do have the reviews, like you want to have a good number of reviews, but they have to be, again, valid reviews. They have to be consistent, and you do have to respond to those reviews.
Mm.
Google support told me when I called them years ago that if you respond to the reviews that you receive, being them good or bad, your listing will improve. Your ranking in your listing will improve.
Wow.
Um, Hopefully that still kind of works today, but I believe it does, as I've seen sites that um, do have a good number of views will show up higher. Now, you don't need to have a lot of reviews, but they do need to be good reviews, and they need to be consistent. I think the frequency plays into that algorithm as well. So there's a lot of these little things that will make incremental movements in your ranking in your listing. Um, but there's also other little options you can have within the Google business listing where you can post updates and put links in there. Make sure you take advantage of those, as well as you want to have really good photography, and do some copy editing and some copywriting within your post, because when people write reviews, um, in combination with what you have on your listing, these little tags show up that people can see what are the most common, again, keywords, the word of the day that people use in their reviews about you, your business.
Yeah. I think that's such great advice. It made me think of a client, and she was able to get 50 like 5-star reviews. Awesome. People love her business. And she came to us and she's like, "Oh no, I got my first 3.5-star review. Like, what do I
Yeah,
do?"
it'll happen.
We're like, "It's okay. Like, it makes you look like a valid company that has real reviews." We're like, "Just respond. Like, it's gonna be
Yeah,
okay, you know?"
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happened at a business I was helping just this week. 5-star reviews across the board, and then somebody got a bad or fake text message from somebody spamming them, and they posted it as a review about our company or that company. And a 3-star review will take your 5.0 to a 4.9 really quick.
Really
Yeah.
quick.
On the flip side of that, there was somebody that posted a 1-star review. I looked them up on Facebook, tracked them down to Nigeria, and asked them to change it, and they did.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Oh my god. Because sometimes, like, they probably don't even have the right business. You
Yeah,
know?
true.
It might not even be, like,
So
correct.
you can reach out to those people. You can ask them to change it, and sometimes you'll have some luck. But most times, if you report those bad reviews to Google, they're not going to get changed. Um, I've had almost zero success in having Google take down a review. But if you can find and track down that person and nicely ask them, you might have some success there.
I like that
That's good
approach.
advice. And
Yeah.
all free advice. Like, I think some people don't know, like, it's free to set up a Google business profile.
Yeah.
You can do it today.
Yeah. And that'll kind of tie into one of the other things we'll talk about, as far as what are the kind of the best practices around doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. We can dive into that. I guess we can do that now if you want, Marv. And I think, there's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of businesses that are trying to charge you for setting up a business Google business profile. There's a lot of people, a lot of scams, a lot of stuff out there that I've seen where it's not ethical, and like Brooke was saying, and like yourself, Marv, it's completely free. There's no cost associated with setting up a Google business profile, and it's really simple
Yeah.
information that they ask you to do so. So.
Yeah.
And my advice is when you do it, and this is kind of the technical part, um, use a login that's separate from your personal account, a separate Gmail account,
Mm,
Mm.
because if you ever disconnect from that business, you'll want everything to be under one account. You won't want to have to separate that later. So create a Gmail account, put your business listing, your Google Analytics, your Google Search Console, all of the tools that Google gives you for free, such as Google Search Console. You can get a phone number, different things you can get. You want to keep them all under that same account. So then when you connect your paid search to your analytics, it's through that same account and you don't have to go give access to different people. So it's
Mm.
all one package, and that helps keep things just tied together. And that's one of the best practices that I've always recommended for my clients.
yeah,
And it also helps keep things secure, and security is a real big issue these days. So you want to also enable two-factor authentication for that account because you'll want to just really lock it down.
right,
Yeah,
right.
that's really smart. Yeah, I like that advice. We wanted to ask you, Marv, more about like what role do websites play in SEO?
Um, Well, let me tell you, I've been working in SEO for 20 years, and over the years, it's gotten harder and harder. But websites are a really big deal with SEO. And it's just one of the levers you need to pull as a small business to get visibility.
Yeah,
So when you're developing a website, there's a lot of things you need to consider, but primarily, does it work on a mobile device? That's one of the key factors of how fast does it load on a mobile device.
Mhm.
And then you need to look at the usability of that site. Is it easy to navigate through, again, on a mobile device? But the structure and the taxonomy that we call it of that content on that site plays a really big role into your ranking. Think of it as like a hub and spoke. In the middle of a wheel, you have the hub, and that would be like your core term, the thing you really want to focus on. And then go out and identify all of the secondary terms and topics
Mm.
around that core term that you want to talk about that can support that, and create content around that hub, and then have all that content point into that center of that core topic from a linking standpoint to help build
Mhm.
up the authority and awareness of that topic. And as you do this and kind of repeat the process, your content needs to be really focused. And I would suggest you don't use AI to generate your content because it's really watered down. It's
Mhm.
really robotic, from a lack of a better term, but
Yeah.
it's
mm,
just kind of bland. So don't really just rely 100% on AI, but you really want to lean into those subject matter experts. And even better if you're the subject matter expert, because you need to do that brain dump into that content and tell people things that are really not just relevant, but create a resource that they will return to over and over again.
Mhm.
And as you create this resource that they just can't live without, then people will continue to come to your page. They'll link to your page, which is the second most important thing I would say. After creating that great content, you've got to get it out there. So having that website that people can link to, and then the more links you get to, it's kind of like a popularity contest. You want to
Mhm.
win that popularity contest, so you need to get the most votes, and every link to your website is a vote.
yeah. I was going to ask about that next. Backlinks and how important that is as well, and when ranking on Google and just kind of helping with your website authority. Uh, any advice that you would give to a small business owner with, getting a number of backlinks?
Yeah. So kind of the things that we've talked about already, all of those kind of social and local profiles you're set up, those are going to create backlinks to your web page. And from your web page, you're going to create backlinks out to those social profiles. So when people search for your brand, they're going to see your website, your Facebook, your Instagram, your other social. And so you're going to take ownership of that brand within what we call the search landscape.
Mm,
And as you do that, your first goal is to rank for your brand. Your second goal is to rank for those non-branded terms, those hub and spoke terms we talked about. And then you're going to reach out to your network. You're going to grow your network You're going to reach out to people. It might be media, might be local news, create a press release, but you're going to want to have your web domain within that to the specific page you want to help rank for that topic.
Right.
But the more linking you can get, that's the key to ranking well in the Google search results. Because again, you're winning that popularity content. So very, very important.
I love that.
Yeah, that's really great advice. And we do come across a lot of small business owners that are like, oh, I don't need a website. I have all the information on my Facebook page. And we're like, no. You definitely need a website. It's really important. Trust us, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And not yeah, go ahead.
I agree, because people are looking for validation that you're a real business.
Yes.
And the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go to Google. Your business listing might be there, but you need to be able to add more information about your business, and you need to have a conversion form and a way for people to reach you multiple ways. Not everybody's going to send you a text message. Some people might want to email. Some people might want to use the form on your website. There's different ways for people to outreach. So don't limit yourself by just saying, oh, Facebook has it all. Because let me tell you again, one of those companies that I helped years ago, they had 30 million followers in a Facebook app. And so this was a while ago, but we thought, wow, this is great. 30 million followers. But then Facebook overnight changed their advertising policy, and that company disappeared overnight. So you can't rely entirely on a social media platform for all of your marketing acquisition, for your customers, because when they change, you'll go out of business or your leads will drop. So you do have to take a multi-pronged approach, and having established your own presence through a website just kind of solidifies your foundation as a company.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you bring up that point, Marv, about it. The website, your website is yours. Your Facebook account is just it's ran by Facebook. You know, you have to abide by their policies and their rules, and so
Right,
it's
and
really
they're always
important.
changing.
Yeah, it's important to have your website because you can do what you need to do to reach the right people and things like that.
You really can. So part of that is like you're really building your own community, right? So on Facebook, you're relying on someone else's community. But if your website were to help you build your own community and you could post your own reviews on that site, then you're really taking control of your business.
Yeah.
And I like what you said. Like, it just makes you look like a legit company that somebody can trust, that somebody wants to service. You know, they're like, oh yeah, their profile looks professional. They have reviews. They have a website. They have social media pages. Like, I think that just builds trust between the customer and the business.
That's right. A company that can go the extra mile and show that they can do that. Well, what else can they do? They can probably do bigger and better things than that too.
Yeah.
I think along those same lines, last week I was talking to a customer about Google Ads, and we were kind of going over how we could potentially help them with that. And his concerns were, that the Google Ads were no longer working for his business. And I was trying to do some more research and to address his concerns. But what it came down to was his brand wasn't optimized correctly. So his Facebook was out of order. His Google business profile had the incorrect information, the incorrect name. And so it was messing the Google ads up. And
okay, right. So there's this triangle, they call it this trifecta, where you need three things to be in place. You need those keywords we're talking about. Those aren't just for SEO, they're for paid search as well. Then the second thing is you've got to have that ad copy match those keywords, which has to match the landing page content. So when you're trying to bid on something that doesn't line up with what you're selling, Google recognizes that. So when those get lined up, and in this case, the business listing, the name and everything as well, then you're optimized.
Amazing.
Wow, that is
Good
amazing.
advice. I hope everyone listens to this that has a business. It's really valuable advice.
Yeah, and I think going back to your original point when we first begun, so it's really important to make sure you establish your brand across the board, not only on social media, but having that website, that Google business profile. Because when you do go run those Google ads, it's going to help you out. It's not going to affect you negatively.
Right. The Google ads, I mean, you're going to want them to go to a website. Again, another great reason to have a website. You're not going to send Google ads to a Facebook page. So it has to go to a website. And then that conversion page on that website, you're probably going to put a video in there that talks about your business. You're going to put in some description. You're going to have this kind of conversion page where they can learn everything about your business. And so that copy in that website, when it's optimized and you're bidding on that term and it's coming to a page about that term and you're the expert in that, well, that's going to just help the conversion process just flow right through.
Yeah, and I had a question for you, Marv. So, to a business owner who might be feeling overwhelmed after listening to this, like, what are some free resources that you would recommend as far as SEO? Like, where could they start?
Oh, yeah. So, I know there's a lot of resources out there, and I know if you ask 10 different people about SEO, you'll get 12 different answers. Um, so people are just going to have to kind of go to those sources that they trust. But there's some really good, online tutorials, some of the more name brand spaces where you can take those online classes and things. But look at Google as well. Do some research through Google because they do publish, and we can put those links down in the description down here in this video.
Yeah.
Some resources, and so we'll put some of those links down there. But Google does help out as well. They don't, announce what's in the algorithm. They just announce how often it's changing and give you some idea that it's going to be a big change and kind of what it's about. But yeah, there's lots of great sources we'll link to.
Yeah, great. Yeah, we can definitely put those below. I think sorry, go ahead.
I just have one more question along those same lines. How often would you recommend that a small business owner upgrade their website or make changes to the website? And does that affect their SEO in any way?
Yeah, you don't want your content to become static, especially if you're doing like content marketing. You've got to keep it fresh. If you're posting a blog to your site, that's helping the search engines and giving them a reason to come back and index you. If it's just a web page and you don't touch it for years, then you might not do so well because, Google wants to be relevant to their customers. And to do that, they need to, surface new and creative content. So I would say, it depends on your business, but if you have a reason to post news and news articles and things that are of interest, again, those resources helping people learn their own best practices, those are great things to post.
I love that.
Yeah, that's good advice. Good to know. I think our final question for you is just where do you see the future of SEO going? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, let me tell you exactly where it's going. It's going to change. So this is a big conversation going on right now, as you know, everybody's kind of talking about AI and what's the future of that, and what we know is that it'll continue to evolve, but SEO is going to be strong because where did AI get all their knowledge from? They got it from us, those AI engines, and so we need to continue to create that content because AI isn't coming up with anything new. It's only regurgitating what we've trained it on. So continue to, I would say, focus on what you know, become the subject matter expert, put your knowledge out there. And then as companies look to help their customers, then they're going to surface up But the thing that I know, and again, my decades of SEO work, is that it's going to change.
Mm. Yeah. So get ready. Get ready, prepare yourself. And Marv, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to, talk with us and share some of the wisdom and knowledge that you've gained over the years. I learned a lot. I know.
Me too. Oh, yeah.
And so
Oh, I'm glad.
I know
It's
our
great.
listeners. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so great to be here with you, Brooke and Will, and I wish you all the success.
Thanks so much.